Goeienaand. Good evening, fellow South Africans. And on a totally different topic this evening, all to do with the IMF and its latest report on the situation in South Africa. And it is not good. In fact, it's terrible. The IMF report has basically said that South Africa's economy has completely stalled. I'll attach a link below where you can read more about it. You can listen to the chief economist at Nedbank, Dennis Dykes, in an interview talking about the impact of this report, the IMF report. But getting back to the report, basically it says one of the huge issues is the state-owned enterprises, or SOEs. And in particular, it singles out Eskom. Now, I talked about Eskom the other day, and it looks like with the load shedding, you might only have 8 hours a day with electricity shortly, because they totally screwed up when it came to coal supplies. This is the state-owned enterprise that China has just loaned 22 billion rand. That's a huge amount of money. And let's remember that Eskom, pre-1994, was a highly profitable SOE, or state-owned enterprise. And now it's in debt, like every other SOE. You look at, for example, the situation with South African Airways. South African Airways used to be highly profitable, and now it's in debt. And they're looking at privatizing it because they can't manage it. And the problem is from the top when it comes to SOEs. If you look at that woman who worked at SARS, who was in charge of IT, I mean, she was totally unqualified for that job. And this same situation is mirrored right across all the SOEs. You've got unqualified people who don't know what the hell they're doing, who are only there because of affirmative action, running the enterprises. And, of course, there's a huge amount of corruption going on within the organizations, and a huge amount of mismanagement because the people running them are unqualified. And the Chinese are sitting on the side and watching this and saying, hey guys, keep on screwing up, because when you can't pay your debts, we'll bring in Chinese labor who know what the hell they're doing, and we're going to then toss all you guys out of employment. And that's the road ahead for South Africa with these SOEs, because China will take them over. Now, the report not only mentions the SOEs, it also talks about COSATU, the trade union movement that is basically tied up with the ANC, and basically says that because COSATU is involved with the employment scenario and it's making life very difficult for potential employers, employment has literally tanked. It's going down in South Africa. And this is of a huge concern, because the only way that you get government revenue is through taxes. And if people aren't working, they're not paying taxes. So you've got a smaller and smaller number of people in South Africa who the burden, or the tax burden, is now being put onto. And that is your largely, and there are some exceptions, I admit to that, but it's largely your 8 or 9% of the white population, it's the 8 or 9% whites in South Africa. The 91%, which are made up by other races, pay very, very little tax. So the tax burden is hugely on the white people, who are the very people that this government is trying to get rid of, chuck them out the country. They're trying to make life very difficult for them, which is an extraordinary situation. If it wasn't for that 8 or 9% of whites in South Africa, South Africa would not have an economy. It would be worse than Zimbabwe right now. These Africans in Parliament should be taking their hats off to the whites and saying, please help us. But of course they won't. Pride before the fall. Now, the other issues that the IMF report discusses, and I've got the There are basically four of them. I've talked about the SOEs. The other biggie is about the expropriation of land without compensation. And the report makes specific mention of this. It doesn't say it's the wrong thing to do, but it makes a very, very important qualification. And basically that is that the South African government should look at the impact of expropriating land without compensation or occupation of land, like in Zimbabwe, has had on other countries' economies. And there's a clear association here with what happened in Zimbabwe and how that economy just tanked after farmlands were just occupied by the indigenous people and the white farmers were removed. So that is clearly in the IMF report. And there's also the comment that promotion of competition in all sectors of the economy to boost business opportunities is the fourth area. But clearly this report, as I say, I'll have a link down below where you can actually look at the article and listen to the chief economist at Nedbank talking about the IMF report. Clearly the report says South Africa is a failing state. And if it doesn't raise more taxes, if it doesn't create more jobs, it's going to go the way of Zimbabwe. So that's not good news, but that's what it's talking about. Now, remember this Sunday at 8 p.m. Johannesburg time, I'll be live on my live stream channel. I'll put a link to that down below this video as well. And please remember to subscribe to that separate live stream channel. If you don't subscribe to it, you won't know when I'm going live. So you need to subscribe to the channel linked below. Okay, guys, take care, have a great evening, and we'll catch up soon. Bye for now.